Because there for a little while I was trying to use some like music and stuff, but we were getting false copyright claims. Because it's supposed to be completely licensed. I mean, we're just bantering.
Oh, us. Okay,
Yeah,
I got you.
I would put
like meant for the shorts.
No, so like if the short's longer than 15 seconds, I can't do music.
Oh well, it's a good thing that I talk through the comic book ones.
Yeah, same thing with my Tired Dad collectible ones.
Like I said, we can always use music. I've got musics.
You've got musics.
Yeah, I mean it's my musics, but it's musics.
It is musics.
I can send you everything I got if you want
it. Yeah, I mean, if we really want something, we could do. Just instrumental, of course, would be best.
Yeah, I've got a bunch of that.
But I'm not too worried about it right now.
The problem with the Venom comic book is that it is a super thick first issue. It's going to take over a minute to flip through.
Yeah, minute is as long as it will let you do for shorts.
So it would have to be fast pace.
That's fine. I mean, you could always skip some pages too. You could always record it and then record the flip through. I could speed it up and then you could record your audio over top of it. That's what I do for my collectibles.
I considered that. I might need your help doing that.
Sure,
or
next week we can
tell me a program or something.
Out. What's up, Hellhound?
Oh shit, that's right. I'm gonna fucking
get
some stuff. Where am I at? Where am I at? Subscriptions.
Yeah, pull up the YouTubes.
I am signed in.
Lies.
Through fucking Google, you bitch. There you go.
Lies and blasphemy.
No, I don't want fucking notifications. Quit asking.
I've got music stuck in my head.
Which one?
I don't want to say it just yet because we're about to talk about things.
Oh. Okay.
Oh, did we just lose 2 subscribers like instantly? Yeah, we're back down to 78. What the hell?
Oh,
we go live and people unsubscribe? What the fuck?
Well, this isn't what I wanted.
Oof. I mean, that's fine. 78 is still higher than
Pokemon
we were
cards. Thought they were going to be opening Pokemon.
Maybe one day we'll do that. We'll just do like random.
Where's the Pokemons?
Live openings.
I'll do a live. I'll buy a box and we'll do a whole live thing.
Yeah, I'm down with that. Buy a box of magic cards or something too.
Yeah, magic cards. The wife doesn't care as much about opening up magic cards.
So.
Ooh, I got a boost. Down, down, down. I'll open whatever you want, Hellhound. If that doesn't sound too personal.
Sure. Yeah, I'll open anything you put in my hands. I knew you wouldn't be able to keep a straight face over that one. Oh, man.
This is getting interesting now.
This is what we do here. Oh, boy. Pull this up here.
No.
Pull this up here. Pull it up. All right. All right. Well, we got 15 seconds, 14 seconds, 13 seconds, 12 seconds. I'm just going to do this the entire time. I gained a subscriber after that comment. It'd be funny if we really did. That would be really funny. All right. The timer's down. Time to be quiet.
Is this because of the duck thing?
Maybe.
I've not taken this hoodie off in a month and a half.
And then when you're done, you feel the most shamed ever. There we go. Always professional.
What
the fuck is even happening?
Classic sort of story.
It came out to high critical acclaim, and it's Pokemon Snap.
If you press the tape, it goes.
Like, what is going
buddy?
on?
I was on edibles. Not a pornography. This is a podcast.
And you got the name wrong again. I like your duck shirt.
It's a duck.
You just interrupted the the beginning.
I just like half of our stuff in there is just us going.
Oh boy! Welcome to another Two Dads and a Podcast.
Stop it! You're gonna get us flagged again by
sue me.
the YouTube.
Don't sue me. Welcome to Two Dads and a Bebop.
A podcast of just folk blues. That's what we're doing.
Yep.
So
yeah.
this episode,
so as we said last week, we're doing top 5 Cowboy Bebop episodes.
You guys know on the 19th, the live action Cowboy Bebop is hitting the Netflix, and we are here to provide you with an introspective. Just this is probably one of the topics that you could say you and I are extreme experts on.
Pretty well versed, yes.
Like, I didn't need to do a whole lot of research. It didn't make it easy, but so we're doing
it did not make it easy.
This was episodes.
This was difficult to narrow down because they are all so good. It was honestly easier to take, like, okay, I know this one's not going to be in there, not because it's not good, but because there's other ones that are better.
Here's the thing. There are, you can go through our top 5 anime, and you got like the Trigun and Escryad, and you can find a weak link within their 26 episode epilogue. There's no weak link here.
No.
What do you do?
No, they are all fantastic.
There's no weak link.
It's essentially
I have
like
reasons for why I chose mine.
These are my favorites, versus being the best. So that's really what it boils down to, and I'm sure that's the same thing for you.
There'll probably be some surprises on here. Yeah. So we'll go ahead and start with my number 5.
Your number 5.
It's my turn.
I'm curious.
My number 5 is number 1. Asteroid Blues.
Oh,
it is one of the most perfect introductory episodes.
Hey, guess what, buddy?
To a show.
Guess what, buddy?
What?
We did it again. We did it again.
Yeah.
Asteroid Blues, man. It is.
We meet the team, man.
It sets up the show for everything that you should expect for the entire
perfectly.
And it has the comedy, it has the serious notes. It's so good.
It has the action scenes. But here's the thing I noticed from watching through the series again.
You may need to repeat that because you're getting a little robotic-y and speedy-uppy.
Whoopsie. Here, give me 2 seconds. I'll fix that here. So, here's the thing about episode 1 for this is, all right, what I was saying. Here's the thing I noticed about Cowboy Bebop watching through it again is some of the best music of the show comes from the first half of the series.
Oh yeah,
the first
it's got
8 to 10 episodes has
some of my favorite music by far.
And episode 1 holds no punches. Usually you want to ease people in it. They don't fucking do that, man. So you're chasing Asimov and you get introduced to the red eye drug. Which quick. And it's something that
it's a reoccurring thing throughout the season or season series.
I just noticed I like your Ein shirt. Who's all on that?
Ein.
Is it just Ein? Oh, nice.
Yeah, with you got Ein's butt. You got Ein's happy face here. You got Ein's side. And, you got Ein with a little bone.
So you're chasing. You got this pregnant lady who's not actually pregnant. That's just where the drugs is
Spoilers.
at. And you get these awesome speeder chases. You
Oh
get
man, the combat, the action,
Bebop. You get the swordfish.
Dude,
you get
Spike,
you find
people
out he's
getting shot through
vulnerable.
the
He can get
freaking
the
head.
shit beat out of him.
Man, there's just so much.
And then you get wrapped up and you get to the end and she kills their bounty. Like, and it's an emotional thing because she's killing the love of her life at the same time.
Well,
because
the thing is, she knew what was going to happen. Literally, as soon as that happened, their ship gets blown apart.
Yeah.
So she knew they weren't going to live anyway. So she kind of just puts him out of his misery. And it sets up this feeling for the entire series of a little bit of comedy here, some action sequences here, some emotional elements here, with music that just ties everything together in a nice, neat little bow. And it is truly the perfect first episode of an anime.
It's like you said, there's comedy in it. You get the listen, Jet, you said bell peppers and beef. There's no beef in here. So you wouldn't exactly call it bell peppers and beef. Now, would you?
Yes, I would.
Like, I mean,
well, it's not. Awesome. It is when you're broke, all right. Yes, man, their back and forth there is just amazing. It's fantastic, and it, like, honestly, the dynamic between Bo Billingsley and Steve Bloom, and then later on, of course, with Wendy Lee and Melissa Fawn, and everything was just so perfect throughout the entire series. And I think we could keep going on about just episode 1, but we need to move on to your number 4.
Yes, we've got to keep this moving forward, and my number 4 is just this brilliant episode set to the backdrop of some incredible blues and mainly the harmonica, because my number 4 is Sympathy for a Devil. And so
I love the harmonica. Is that the what's the name of the song? Is it Spooky Dokie
Kid?
The name of the song? I know that's one of the harmonica songs.
That's one of the 2 harmonica ones. I didn't look up the soundtrack for this just because the songs I know by heart, but the titles are kind of scattered in my brain.
I got it.
But so you have this kid, and the kid is, as far as you know, he's just a kidnapped kid, and he's playing harmonica at such an extremely good level. And so you got this dude Zebra, and you got this dude Giraffe, and you don't know what's going on here. But then he gets shot out. And,
let's back up a little bit.
Swoops in. Like,
there's a bounty out on Giraffe, and so that's where the Bebop crew comes in, and they play their part in here. And Giraffe comes in and he pulls a gun on Zebra and the kid, and you're thinking, he's trying to take the kid away, and then next thing you know, he gets blown out the window by a gunshot. And man, it just really takes a
the confusion sets in.
Yeah. Oh.
and so it turns out this little kid is ageless. He got affected by an explosion, and so he can't age, and he's the only person who survived this blast. And sort of what I don't even know. It gets confusing because there's this pink little crystal that they melt down into a bullet, and he gets shot, and he fucking ages so far. But it really shows.
Well, like there was an accident, an explosion, sort of. And because of that explosion, he got like bombarded by some like chemicals or something, and it made him essentially immortal. And
gamma rays or whatever the fuck you want to.
Yeah, I mean, he's not turning into the Hulk.
They go to explanation.
They do explain
but it's hard to follow a little bit.
But it turns out it's this little devil kid the entire time, and he was using Zebra as kind of a scapegoat just to take his money and he was using him.
A different person. As soon as the first person died, he moved on, and then he moved on. And as they aged, they were just trapped with this kid because nobody would accept a kid, living this long, So he just had to take on this new persona every time.
Yep. And 30 plus years he's living as a kid, at least 30 years, because, we get that picture and they're like, oh, this picture's from 30 years ago, but that's not Zebra. And it turns out that Giraffe and Zebra were friends, and Giraffe was trying to save Zebra. And no, we're not talking about wild animals. These are people, okay?
And Jet Black is a baby hipster, obviously. He is so well adversed into the blues.
Yeah.
And I don't know why I love that part.
Yeah, he just comes in, he's like, yeah, I've liked the blues for as long as, it's just straight up hipster, and it's great.
As soon as the doctor whacked his bottom, he was born wailing the blues, But this episode is fucking weird, twisted, and has some crazy cool ups and downs in it.
And staying with that line, staying with that weird and twisted element, because there are a few episodes, but my number 4 is another one that has just so much to it. And honestly, it has very little actual speaking in it. And it's episode 20, Pierrot Le Fou, or Requiem for a Clown. This episode it's trippy. It's almost like a horror movie the entire time through. Spike just happens to be in the wrong place at the wrong time, sees this guy murder somebody, and then gets essentially this deranged serial killer targets him because he doesn't want anybody to survive. And what I really like about this... Can
I hold you up, though?
Yeah, go ahead.
My number 3 is Pierrot Le Fou.
Or that's very similar.
Known as Requiem for a Clown. And
I knew this was going to happen. Man. Oh,
this episode freaks me out, though. My wife refuses to watch this episode. She won't. And it's just because this guy's laughter is so haunting. Like, think Mark Hamill's Joker, but with no fucking soul. Just dead, sort of psychopathic laughing. That is this, and he's a child, is what he is.
Yeah. So, little backstory. I started off. Spike sees this guy murder somebody, and then he goes all like, "Well, there can be no witnesses," and starts chasing after Spike to try to kill him. So, the few things I like about this. And well, there's more than a few, but a few of the big things I like about this episode. One, it shows you that Spike is not all powerful. He is not going to win every fight. He was losing. He was not going to survive until one of the major kind of the point where plot twists.
Faye didn't even want him going back out there. You're going to die, man. Like you're running to your death at this point. But and one of those things that I love about this episode is wrong place, wrong time. He wasn't even trying.
Nope.
He wasn't even looking for trouble at this time.
Nope.
It found him this time, which just it just pounds away this sort of topic through the whole thing where Spike, whether he wants it or not, trouble finds him. He's one of those people. Always. Trouble finds him.
So it turns out, this deranged serial killer, he was part of some military experiments, and he was essentially
that's
a
another
super
reoccurring theme through this whole thing.
Oh, it is. But he's essentially like a super soldier. He's been trained. He's super powerful. He's almost superhuman in this element. But during all these experiments, it fucked up his brain to the point where he is slowly reverting back to a childlike state. And it's almost really just, it's freaky, but it's also an incredibly sad and tragic episode on top of it.
The
way he dies.
That is the part of this episode that disturbs you this most is the way he dies, and he's just
literally
yelling out,
crying
like gutturally
out for his
mommy.
And as a dad, as a parent, both, with Felix and I and our wives and everything, like it truly just it hits you. This guy...
It's upsetting, bro. It's upsetting.
It is extremely upsetting. And, at first, he just wanted to get revenge, but because he started reverting back to a childlike state, he just found joy and sick satisfaction in killing people. And Jet Black's quote and his line in this episode hits you extremely hard. There's nothing as pure and cruel as a child. And it just...
then his just freaky laughter behind the backdrop of this do 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 do
oh man
soundtrack. Do do
so
do,
good.
Do do do
so fucking good.
It's fucking haunting as fuck.
It really is. It really is.
Ugh.
So I love that. I love that that was on your list. I was hoping it would be, because it's such a good episode all the way through. So
bro, they paint it so well. I mean, it's terrifying. It really is.
Yeah, it's practically a horror. It's literally like, it shares so many tropes and like kind of hints from other horror genres and elements, and that whole psychological bit, and it's great. Go watch it. So that brings us to my number 3. We're
sure.
kind of, I was like, oh hey, we need to keep going on this list, and now we're just breezing through because all of ours are the same.
Hey, I'll talk for as long as you want about Cowboy Bebop.
So my number 3 is one of the comedy episodes. It is hilarious. It's fantastic, and it has a quote that we actually got in our interview with Bo Billingsley, and it's Mushroom Samba. Mushroom hunting.
I love this one.
That's the song that was stuck in my head earlier, by the way. That's the song that was stuck in my head.
The dude dragging this coffin everywhere he goes. You know why I drag this coffin with me everywhere I go? And then
because I'm Shaft.
And just shatters it.
Like
he's been dragging this coffin for 10 years or something.
And Ed is just
he
like,
finally finds the person.
Dude, I love this episode.
It's one of the best episodes ever.
You know, everybody's hungry. They send Ed and Ein out to venture for some food to try to find something.
No, they didn't. They didn't really send them out. They
kind of, sort of. But yeah, so Ed just goes out and he's trying to find some food, or she's trying to find some food. I don't know.
They get thrown off their course by this ship, and lo and behold, this ship is a bounty.
Is a bounty
tumbling down with mushrooms inside of it.
He's a mushroom smuggler, and you know, Ed ends up running into him and ends up with some of the mushrooms and takes them back. He's like, "Oh, hey, we found some food." And naturally,
this dude is so quick to like. It's a little 11-year-old girl. And he's like afraid of her almost. So trying to bribe her to leave him alone.
And so she takes the mushrooms back, and she's like, I don't want to eat these myself. Let's feed them to the crew and see what's going on with these mushrooms. And everybody starts hallucinating.
She wants to test them out to see what happens. And
yeah.
My favorite one is Spike just walking up the same step. And he's just going, following the stairway to heaven.
A frog on the stairway to heaven.
And Jet's talking to his
plants, having an existential crisis. Who am I?
Bonsai trees. I bought a bonsai tree for this episode. I know. I told Bo Billingsley this. This episode inspired me to buy my own bonsai tree. And
this is the episode we get the shit-talky mushroom line from Jet at the end.
And this poor fucking just badass bounty hunting woman chasing after this dude. And she just keeps getting fucked over by
Ed and Ein hop in her trunk.
Ed hides in her trunk.
And so the cops pull over. They're like, "Hey, we're just checking because there's a mushroom smuggler on." They're like, "Oh, yeah, I got nothing to hide." And they pop open the trunk, and Ed's, passed out in the trunk. And they're like,
"What's going on here?"
And she's like, "I have no idea what the hell's happening." Oh man, I love this episode. It's great.
It's brilliant. Yeah. I can't argue with that.
The music is fantastic. The mushroom hunting song is wonderful. Like just the rhythm, the beat, it's so unique in comparison to some of the other music.
Mushroom Samba.
Well, no, it's mushroom hunting. It's hunting. Mushroom Samba is the name
the song is Samba.
The episode. Yeah. Yep. But there you go. There's my number 3. We're on to number 2. Your number 2.
My number 2, also a bit of a comedy.
Oh, really?
My number 2 is Cowboy Funk.
Cowboy Funk.
So it's a later episode.
It is.
It is session 22, and this is where Spike meets himself, but a slightly crazier version of himself. So this is a character that has been confirmed by casting for the live action, and it is the Teddy Bomber. This guy is blowing up buildings with teddy bears strapped with bombs in order to make a political view, which never exactly gets fully explained, because every time he is making his explanation, he gets interrupted. And so this cowboy on a horse named Andy comes galloping in, and him and Spike are so much the fuck alike. And this Teddy Bomber is getting so pissed off because they just won't hear him out. And they just keep saying, tell him, shut up. And Andy goes, who even are you? And he's the bounty that both of them are chasing after. And Andy never remembers who Spike is. And it just infuriates the shit out of him. And it is just this hilarity, just fucking, and Faye is quick to point out how so much alike the two of them are. And he's got the stew. He's the member of a YMCA, and they're like, I didn't know you're a Christian. He's like, no, the Young Cowboys Association. And the end of the episode, man, after he's like bowed his cap to Spike and said, you're the real cowboy and whatever, he comes back as a fucking samurai chasing down the fucking guy that he just helped put into jail, which Faye got the bounty for, by the way.
Naturally, that's how that's got to happen. So one of my favorite parts about this episode
just brings me so much joy
is like at the end of it, they always have like the last phrase and the last line, and oftentimes it's "See you, Space Cowboy." At the end of this one, Andy is the one actually saying "See you, Space Cowboy," so it's not even Spike on it.
It's just this hilarious where they parody themselves,
Yep.
And it brings me a lot of joy to watch this episode every single time I see it. I'm just happy as can be.
Yeah, I like that. I was not expecting that to be on your list. You're very, very correct. I like it. So my number 2 is a 2-parter, but it's meant to be watched as a single episode. And I'm pretty positive you know what this one is. Yeah. And it is the perfect end. No. The mid one's good. But the real
main one.
Oh, the main one. Yeah.
I said the main one.
Oh, I thought you said mid. Mm-hmm. Okay. It is the perfect end to our favorite anime of all time. And it's the Real Folk Blues, part 1, part 2, episode 25 and 26.
Just watch those 2 episodes again today.
Oh, yeah, I watched them earlier too. I had to. It is so good. It is an incredible conclusion to everything that has kind of happened on the side. Because one thing that I like about Cowboy Bebop, and a lot of the anime that we really enjoyed that were 26 episodes, you have episodic. You have episodes that are self-contained. Like, for example, his last one, the cowboy one. That episode,
as much as we complain here on this podcast, we complain so much about filler episodes, and as much as we complain about filler episodes, some of our favorite anime are majority filler episodes. where you catch a plot line here and there through the anime.
That's what we expect with these ones, though. You know, it's not like there's 500 episodes and then 300 of them are filler. No, this is 26 episodes, and most of it is meant to be episodic. These episodes are meant to be self-contained with a little bit of hint to various, side plots and the major overarching plot.
Together, the overarching plot, you feel like a part of this club, like you're one of the few that
Spike and Vicious and the Red Dragon Syndicate storyline is just an incredible story from beginning to end, and you get little bits and little tastes from it. You get to the middle with the Jupiter Jazz episodes, part 1, part 2, that starts to expose a lot more of it, and then you go back to getting more of these little tastes, and the series ends with the Real Folk Blues, and that is the end theme. That is the name of the end theme, and we've heard it the entire time. You literally get a tease of it at the very beginning of Asteroid Blues. The very first episode essentially spoils the end of it for you. And I love that storytelling bit that they did, and it's just an incredible story, with this one being the equivalent of 50 minutes, between part 1, part 2. Spike finally gets to meet back up with Julia, and, he finally gets to have his fight to the death with Vicious and expose the Syndicate, and it's just an incredible, incredible journey. So I'm going to finish what I'm saying there, because we got to wait for Felix to get back. It seems like his internet's acting up on him. But Hellhound, if you have any questions, have you watched Cowboy Bebop all the way through? Yeah, I just actually looked at chat. He's gone from chat too, so he probably had to restart his computer. Going back and binging it again? You should, dude. That's what I did. I literally just binged it through over the last few days. I did skip a few episodes that I knew weren't going to be on my list. Just so I could actually get through all of it. I just reminded you. Nice. Oh, by the way, finally got the exchange done. I'm not playing that tonight, but I will start playing that very soon. You're lost. Come on back, man. Come on back. Yeah, no store had it in stock, so I had to return the one and then order. Well, when you can, Felix, pop on in, man. Pop on in. Yeah, I'm going to play more Banished tonight. That's the goal. I need to... set this for 9:30. There we go. Oh, and they gave it to you next week too? Gross. Tell them to get bent. Oh man. Watching Cowboy Bebop again though, just, you know, because it's been a little while since I've actually watched the whole thing this quickly. And like seeing the whole overarching story and everything with it, they did such an amazing job of telling the story beginning to end. And like I was saying, you know, tying in these episodic, you know, well, episodes where it's self-contained, but it has so much that ties in to the background of the different characters, and you find out a little more about Jet, you find out a little bit more about Faye and Spike, and even Ed, you know, later on you get to find out a little bit more. And it's so good. So good. Good. Man, you just had to freeze when we got to number 1. Oh, he's here. Oppa Gangnam Style. Oh, there he is. He's here. He's here. You can start talking now. I can see that you're not frozen. Your eyes are moving.
Trying to keep track of what I'm doing. I switched up to the 5G connection.
Oh, there you go.
Maybe it'll work better.
That's the one you should always be on. Because the 2.4 channel is, you know what?
When everybody's on the 5G, it doesn't help half the time anyways.
It's still better than the 2.4.
Hey, shut
channel.
The fuck up. I'm on here.
Just saying.
Okay.
All right. So what we were saying.
So what did we say?
Real Folk Blues. I went on to talk about how it tied together the overall story elements, and then kind of gave a quick synopsis of how, you know, Spike got to kind of tie up his loose ends with Julia. He got his final battle with Vicious and the Red Dragon Syndicate. Okay.
And how can I jump in without it seeming like I was gone for 10 minutes?
I mean, we could just talk about it again. I mean, that's fine.
So, yeah. What you said. That's such a great synopsis of the episode. And honestly, my favorite part is the Julia dying. Not that she died, but it was such a
such a dramatic and emotional moment, both as a viewer honestly, and for Spike.
At the same time, all she had to do was stay laying down. Like, she stood up. Like, there was a lot of people around, and then she just like stood up. No, it was. You had tied back together the first episode with what's her name? The lady who runs sort of the shop, the convenience store. Annie, yes. And you brought her back. You got, was it Lynn in this one, whose brother was in the Jupiter Jazz episodes?
Yes, Gren was the experimental guy.
The dude with tits.
Yes.
And then
you put it so succinctly. You have such a way with words.
I'm very loquacious, okay? And then put together one of the best action sequences ever.
Oh my god.
Where they just destroy a building.
Spike is
the backdrop of one of the coolest songs, which was the first song they decided to redo this year. With the original cast members and the original band in the COVID times. And so it's one of their best songs, or most iconic maybe, because I like a few others differently. And then you just destroy this fucking building.
Yeah, Spike just goes in, goes ham, blows up everything he can, kills everybody he can. And
obviously
they end it with such an amazing moment.
You get the best line of any show ever. At the end, very end.
Bang.
Is it? It's that simple, but it's that brilliant.
It really is. You know, you've got Spike with blood running down his face. He's cut open to hell and back. And he just looks up, looks forward, bang.
It's so like
and it hits you, man. You just get goosebumps when he does it. It's
so important to the career of Spike that the voice actor, he got it tattooed, the actual audio file tattooed on his arm.
Mm-hmm.
And
it ends with
honestly
the heaviest part, and the whole, you know, there's a message at the end of every episode, whether it's, you know, see you Space Cowboy or, you know, whatever it is. There's a couple different ones that they do, but this one simply says, you're going to carry that weight. And it is, yep, and he's got, you know, Felix has the tattoo of that.
It's so impactful to me. I got it on my body.
An emotional phrase after everything you just experienced on screen. It is a perfect ending to the perfect anime, in my opinion.
And
but
it's
it's
reflective
number one
to Watanabe's influences, because it is a Beatles lyric from a song, you're gonna carry that way. And if I sing it anymore, we're gonna get flagged again, so I'm not going to.
You're not that good. You're not.
It is just yeah, it's a brilliant episode.
Family being loud because you muted in the middle of saying episode. Yep. Okay. Boop 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 boop. Boop 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 boop. Are they not done yet?
My daughter is stubborn.
Yep, I know how that is. My son is the same way. You're gonna have fun editing this one, dude. At least it's a nice cut, just cut this section. This is awesome, dude. This is great. Fantastic episode here. Mm-hmm.
I can pull out my Cowboy Bebop pops.
I can do that too, actually. The week that the show is launching, I have a collectible showcase recording for that week, showing off the main three: Spike, Jet, and Faye.
I've Iron Flocked.
I do too. I have every
That's cool.
I have every Cowboy Bebop pop. So.
What do you do?
Yeah, because I got them when they first came out, and now Spike is like $140.
Well, I would have gotten Spike, but all the GameStop employees took all the Spikes before any customers could get them.
I mean, I don't think I bought mine through GameStop.
No, I got Faye, Ed, and Jet through GameStop.
But yeah, I have.
And then I got the Vicious and Spike.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's another thing about that episode that we didn't even talk about, was just that iconic shot of the sword and the gun.
Yes. For the Real Folk Blues, you have that confrontation between Spike and Vicious, and it ties back into episode 5, which is entitled Ballad of the Fallen Angels. And so you have this kind of tie back to an earlier episode of them fighting, and it's so good. It is so hard to get a truly good ending to a TV show, a movie series, a book, or whatever, and the Real Folk Blues is probably the best ending to any anime that I've ever seen.
And so we're moving on to number one, obviously.
Yes, and we go through all of that, and it's not my number one.
It's not my number one either.
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
Yeah.
And well, mainly because it's not on my list, because it'd be too difficult to even have it on my list. So I just kind of shoved it aside.
It kind of has its own category.
Yeah, you know the importance of this show as a whole to me, and ending it, you never wanted to end. So that's part of it. But
I almost pulled it off of my list, but it's so iconic and it's so well done. I had to keep it on there.
One of the things we both didn't mention is you don't actually know if Spike is dead at the end of this.
Nope.
You have no idea. And Watanabe won't say. And Watanabe also, the creator, has spoken to potentially making more episodes. Now, we ended up with this Netflix series, but that doesn't mean the anime is gone forever either. We just don't know. And he doesn't know either. He falls
forward, and that's it. You don't actually see him die. There's no confirmation. It ends.
And so
and the whole you're going to carry that weight kind of show like
we are carrying a little weight also.
Like we're carrying it, but it might be a hint that he's carrying that weight now for the rest of his life. Like, yeah, it's great. But on to number one. What's your number one? I'm curious.
So my favorite episode of the series is entitled "Toys in the Attic."
Holy fucking shit! We did it again.
That's the one.
That's the one. Oh my god, this episode is so good.
This episode has, again, one of the fewest lines ever.
Episode 11. So you guys are session 11, so you guys know which one to look for.
Absolutely nothing happens in this episode. Nothing. And it's the best. So you start off with Faye just robbing Jet blind, and Spike has just burnt these shish kebabs with a flamethrower, and Jet is taking off his underwear and flying it out in the air because she literally robbed him of everything with this anklet.
They were playing dice. They were playing dice. But she cheated. She totally cheated. And robs him blind of literally everything, including his clothes. And they're eating, and Jet gets a little upset, and he goes for a walk, and he finds a refrigerator.
Refrigerator, right?
He finds a refrigerator
that nobody even remembers existing.
That he didn't even realize was there. And
it turns out it hasn't even been there that long. It's been there for like 6 months,
Yep. So we talked a little bit earlier with the Pierre LeFou episode being kind of a horror movie kind of trope episode. This one is too, but it's also hilarious. This is truly kind of a tie-in to your alien, even like the movie Aliens. Kind of trope. And so Jet finds this refrigerator, and he's back there, and he doesn't know what's there. And the next thing you know is he's coming out, and he's not feeling it. Oh yeah. And like the episode starts off with this too, with just this camera panning through spider webs and ventilation shafts and stuff, and you're just like, what the fuck is this? And it's just and so Jet comes out, and he's like, I was bit by something. And Faye's like, what do you mean something? It was probably just a rat. And so they're going on thinking it's a rat, and Jet starts to feel a little uneasy, and all of a sudden he just passes the fuck out and just hits the ground, and you see this giant purple wound on the back of his neck.
Just disturbing.
And so they're like,
one by
what
one, man.
Is this? What is this thing? And so they're looking it up. They're trying to figure out what this is. And
this is the best part because he's like, no, it's not the Ebola virus. And
Spike's looking up all these different diseases, and they start just naming these random crazy things. And they're, even Spike comes out. He's like, maybe it was a rat, but it mutated to have some sort of crazy poison. Nah, that couldn't be.
And Jet, just the look of fear in his face for every scenario
He's
they run through.
And then, so Ed,
of course we have. Well, of course we have. Was it Ein next, or was it Faye in the bathtub?
It was
because we always have to put Faye in the bathtub.
Always, bathtub or the shower. She's got to be naked somewhere in each episode. But so she's like taking a shower, and she comes out, and she's
soaking in the tub, man.
And the next thing you know, she's freaking out because she's got a bite on her leg, and she's thinking she's gonna die. And who was it? I think it was Spike. They were talking, and he's like, there's only one way this could really go if it's that bad. Death. And it's just like this, it's so dramatic with what's going on. And these wounds are like these giant purple, just like, they don't blend in. It looks like somebody just like slapped a purple sticker on these on the characters. So then Ed and Ein go off, and they're trying to find what this thing is. And
my favorite part of this, so first off, like, so Spike, Ein gets bitten, he doesn't last. Yep. It's about Spike, so he's fed up, and he just starts loading like an arsenal. He gets grenades, he gets his gun cocked and loaded.
Doesn't he have like a spray thing and a flamethrower? Yeah.
And the best part of this episode is each, like, incrementally they do lessons, and this episode spawned my favorite line from the entire anime, and it comes from Ed, and it's lesson 3. Lesson: if you see a stranger, follow him. And that's like my favorite fucking line.
Yeah, like each time somebody gets bit, there's a lesson that they say. And so eventually Spike's got this big arsenal. He's off trying to save the ship and save everybody. And he comes across this fridge, and he looks at it, and he goes, "Oh man, maybe I should have eaten that thing." And you're like, what the hell is he talking? It's a rock lobster.
Rock lobster, man.
What was it, from Mars?
And it was in there for 6 months, and he opens up the fridge.
He opens it up,
it's just
and
gooey,
it's terrifying. There's mold and shit's growing.
And so he takes it out to the hatch, and he's gonna just exodus this thing, and he holds on for dear life, and he's almost slipping
he takes
off.
The whole fridge
almost gets sucked out,
and shoves the whole fridge out into space.
Just in time for this thing to close up, and it just spirals through space with all this like sparkly dust and stuff coming out of it.
It's so dramatic.
And you get that song, the do 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 do.
Yeah.
What is it? Dance of the Fairy Plums or
something
whatever
like
the fuck
that.
it's
Yeah.
called. And then it just ends so perfectly. Sugar plum, yeah.
Oh,
it just
man.
ends so perfectly with Ed.
And Spike, Spike at the end is just like, and that's the story. And what was the real lesson? Don't leave things in the fridge. And it ends perfectly with Ed. It does, but we gotta go over what happens right before Ed. So instead of saying "See you, Space Cowboy" at the end on the bottom, it just simply reads "The End."
And
then Ed
crawls like dashing back and forth all the way, and Ed just grabs it and eats it.
But Ed, you said that it ends perfectly with Ed. I was leading up to that.
Yeah, that's the end. Ed grabs this thing and eats it like fucking pudding.
No, and then at the end of every episode, after the credits roll, there's a preview for the next one, and Ed comes up and is like, and so everybody died, And that was it. And talks about how she's going to be a cowgirl now, and her and Ian are going to go on these adventures. And Spike comes in, he's like, wait a second, what? No, there's going to be more of us, isn't there?
Nope. No.
It's great. This episode is fantastic. That's
so fun.
I love that was your favorite. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, it was crazy fun, and those were some of my favorite episodes. Were just the random fun ones or the fucking weird ones. You know, you think about I love the one where Ed takes on that master chess player.
That one was a really interesting. Like that one was actually just really interesting.
Honky Tonk Woman, where they meet Faye, you see so much of Spike's personality, where he just eats this chip and spits back up. He just doesn't give a fuck.
You know Stray Dog Strut, where you meet Ein.
Brain Scratch was a fucking mind fuck of an episode. You know.
Yes, and I love the episodes that go in depth on some of the backstory for some of the characters. They didn't make our top 5, but they are so integral to the stories. With
the Faye ones were tragic, you know, and just
extremely tragic, you know, and especially leading up episode 24, right before the ending right before Real Folk Blues, you have Hard Luck Woman, which goes super in depth with her background. You get to learn more about Ed's background. Ed leaves the Bebop with
She disbands, you know, and she leaves this giant message on the Bebop with this weird funky face, and you meet her dad that doesn't know whether or not she's a boy or a girl. and you find out she has like 10 names.
Yeah. But that's the thing, like every episode is so important, and each one has some sort of background that ties everything in together. And
definitely.
It's an incredible show. Absolutely.
There's so much nuance and detail to this show. You can watch it again and again and
learn something new almost every time.
Honestly, we want to know what your favorite episode is. We really do.
You do. And reach out. Let us know. You can reach out to us on Facebook, Twitter at 2dap2020. You can email us at 2dap2020@gmail.com. We are on Instagram. Comment on the YouTube videos. Or, you know, you could also help support us on Patreon if you want to help us create even better content.
And, you know.
Next time on Two Dads and a Podcast.
We did an interview.
We did.
For the next episode.
We did.
Claire Redfield. We interviewed her. The character. No, the voice actor. Stephanie Panisello.
Yes.
And this
was a really fun one. And man, I had to cut some good stuff out of there in order to make it fit our time frame that we tried to do. The whole chat we had with her was absolutely wonderful. It was super fun, super, you know, just chatting. Like that's the thing. Like it was really just chatting and having a good time. Very laid back. So keep an eye out later this week for that episode. If you're in the live chat, stay tuned because that's coming up very soon.
Yeah. Check out the new live action Cowboy Bebop and tell us your feedback because
we're going to be watching it for sure, and we'll probably talk about it on a future podcast. So
spoilers.
But as always, guys, thank you so much for listening.
We love you all. See you, Space Cowboy.
Man, you stole my line. No, so episode 27, there is a movie, but there is also Session XX, which you can watch on YouTube.
Yeah.
It was never released on DVD. It was never released outside of Japan. It literally only aired on TV in Japan. And it was because after, I think it was episode 15. So it wasn't even a clean, 13 episode seasons like they usually do. It was like after episode 15, there was so much violence in the show, and there was so much violence going on in Japan at the time that they canceled the show for a short period. And they did this Session XX, and it's essentially just like the crew, Spike, Jet, Faye, Ed, talking and getting philosophical and talking about some of the stuff going on, and there's different parts and they get real in depth, and it's just clips from the previous episodes kind of tied in together, but it's actually really interesting. So give that a watch. It's Japanese only. There's a fan group that did a translation of it, so check that out. It's actually really... When I saw it for the first time, I was like, I had no idea this existed, but this is actually pretty cool, and I like how they kind of went more in depth. So, all right. Time to get ready.
Silence.
Hi guys, I'm Stephanie Panisello. You might recognize me as Claire Redfield in Resident Evil 2 or in Infinite Darkness, or maybe you know me as the voice of Betty Ross in Marvel's What If series, or possibly you know me as Vora from Paladins or Fairy from Trials of Mana. If you guys do know me, then you are here right now because I'm hanging out with these two lovely gentlemen on Two Dads and a Podcast.
Welcome to another Two Dads and a Podcast interview series.
We didn't even ask her to call us lovely.
We didn't. She just she said it, and I was like, I
wasn't holding up cue cards or anything this time.
Nope. We didn't slip her a note digitally saying. Yeah.
So welcome. Like he said, we are doing an interview again. Because we do that thing.
We do that sometimes.
Yeah, time to time. We enjoy it, talking to people, getting to know them. We ask the questions that nobody has ever wanted to ask before.
And nobody still wants to ask them for whatever reason.
Nobody wants to hear the answers, but we did it.
Yep.
So, no, it's a great inside look into the personality of the people who provide the personality to some of your favorite voices. And this week we just happened to get an amazing person to sit down with us, Stephanie Panisello.
She's getting more and more and more roles. Like, she's not super deep. She doesn't have 15 pages of credits to her name yet. But I say yet because it's going to happen. She's getting out there. Her voice is getting there.
She has some awesome credits right now.
Amazing credits, yeah. I mean,
she ran them down. Claire Redfield,
alone. And she does a lot of, we didn't talk about it as much, but she does a lot of motion capture work for characters she doesn't voice as well. So she does a lot of the background stuff. So
Betsy Ross, the new What If series has been amazing. So
yes.
That's all you got to know.
Yep. So here you go, guys. Enjoy. Oh.
Hi.
Welcome.
What did we come here for again? So we've been doing this for a year now, and it's crazy how different everybody's answers are to all these questions that we kind of ask, and they're not. We're really we reached out to you because we love the work that you're doing and voice acting and stuff, but
we're huge nerds.
Right, but we know all that stuff, so most of the questions aren't going to be about that.
Ooh, it's going to be
yeah. So our interview series, we call it our get to know series. I can probably look up 5-10 different videos of you talking about Resident Evil, of you talking about your voice work, but that doesn't tell me anything about you. So that's where we like to start.
Sounds creepy when you say it.
Oh.
I'm like, oh no, what are we going to ask me?
Should I put my hair up? Is it less imposing if my hair is up?
We'll start off with what do you personally geek out for? In life?
What do I personally does it have to be
anything? Anything? For me, my big thing is music and stuff. And I got the comic books and video games and stuff like most good nerds, but music is my big thing. So it can be anything.
So obviously I love, the geek world, and I love board games and things like that too. But like the other part that I really geek out on is I love like outdoorsy stuff. So I geek out on like survival gear, on anything that's like gear related that could somehow be helpful or beneficial or lighter weight or whatever it is if I'm backpacking or hiking or any of that stuff. Like that stuff I geek out on, and I geek out on like new locations on where to like see stuff at and like learning about what's around my environment. So if it's like I love telling people I live in Southern California, and there's a plant in the wilderness in Southern California called the yucca plant, which I remember the first time I learned about it, I was like, oh, you mean to say yucca? And they're like, no, it's yucca. And it's different. And it's like the hardware store of the wilderness out here. And it's amazing. So anytime I take people out on hikes, I'm like, so you could do this and this with it and this with it. Like, oh no, I get very excited. So that stuff's what I geek out on for sure.
So I take it the zombie survival guide has a very prominent place on your shelf then.
Oh, I mean, come on. I straight up have survival guidebooks and all kinds of weird books like that, like how to make knots, all these different kinds of like guns and stuff, machine guns. And people are like, why does she need this? Like, I just do. So that's my thing. That's definitely my thing. I have other things that I geek out on, but that's a big one.
So I do have to kind of ask, because you mentioned it very briefly, and I'm a big board game guy. What's your favorite?
So I think what kind of got me into all of it was Settlers of Catan. I feel like that's the gateway drug into like
into the complex games,
into like more, stuff like that. But it's really easy, and it's a simple kind of strategy card game, but it's called Splendor. I like that one. I don't know if you all have played it, but okay. It's just so easy to teach somebody new, and everyone can learn, and you don't have to like hate each other when you're doing it. So like, I like that, because Settlers of Catan, like it destroys friendships and families.
Oh,
so,
yes.
Like it's good until it's not good anymore. So, and then I used to love, now it feels morbid to even say, but Pandemic was a fantastic game, because you would work together to save the planet. These days, I feel like, I don't know if they're doing really well or really poorly with their sales. So,
It hits a little close to home, I think.
Yeah.
Clearly not enough people played those games. We failed. Speaking of superpowers, what is your favorite type of music?
Oh, I love that you didn't ask it. My favorite type of music. Okay, so I love, man. So I love bluegrass. I love folk.
Nice.
I love a lot of like older type of music, but definitely like anything inspired with blues, anything. I love country as well. When I'm in the car, it's country. I love rock as well. But I think, so when I was in college, I remember there was, I had to take an elective, and the only class that I willingly took at 8 a.m. was modern popular music. And it taught me so much about music and its origins. And I remember learning about Muddy Waters, and just like these great artists and like where it all started from. And that I love all of that. So anything that's got like that cool older sound to it, older feel to it, I really like. Anything that's I lean more on lyrics than I do on music, but if the music sucks, then it's no good either. So
I'm right there with you. Like, lyrics are if it has lyrics, I need them to actually make sense, and I need them to be more than just the same thing repeated 18,000 times.
Oh no, see, two of my favorite bands are the Red Hot Chili Peppers and the Black Keys, and that is all not making sense and being repeated.
I mean, I do love both of them, but that's because the music is as good as it is.
Because the music is good. Have you guys heard Black Pumas? Those are kind of like semi-newer.
Black Pumas.
The Black Pumas are pretty good right now. I've been enjoying them.
You know what? I've come to the realization that if a band has black in the name, it's probably really good. Black Sabbath, Black Keys, and there's just ton of Black Mountain. There's a ton of bands that have black in the name, and they're just fantastic. And
they're like tend to be automatically good.
The Black Lips, they're fantastic.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I already like
always
their fashion with the jackets and the hats, so I'm down with this.
They got a cool like old sound to it too, but I don't know. Like I said, I just like anything that I don't know that when a singer has, you can hear their soul.
Yeah,
when they
Yes.
sing.
that's why I love like Sunhouse and T-Bone Walker, the Lead
Yeah.
Bellies from back in the day. They all have just like
You
I don't
can
know. I think it turns
feel
people
the
off
passion
because they're
behind both
Yeah,
their
they're not-
voice and the lyrics and the music, and
they're not like trained vocalists, but that's neither here nor there.
It's their
I'm
their
not-
storytelling, because really
Right.
music is your storytelling, you know? And so you could have the best voice in the world, but if like it's not really a story that you give a shit about or anything, and it doesn't speak to you, like you're gonna hear it. I hear it. Like I don't like it. So like I'll go and I'll dig through there's a place called the Record Parlor that's in Hollywood, which is like one of my favorite ones. There's another one in I think St. Clemente or something, but it's like just old records, you know. And there's a reason why I think people sometimes gravitate towards like analog and things like that, is just because you're going to hear all that stuff crisper. And I think it was different. It was, I don't know. I could talk to you about music too.
hey, we're down with that too. We're both
Wouldn't
musicians. You know, he's obviously guitar, and I play drums and I sing. So it's,
oh my gosh. Do you
I have a
guys want to?
piano outside on my back porch, so
Yeah.
I'm fully equipped with. We could have a band here if you want to come jam.
If I want to start. So I grew up singing as a kid. I used to sing at church actually. So I always sang always. I was I was in the choir and in the cantor. My parents didn't make me go. I just wanted to. And then I now own, I don't tell people this because this is for me and I'm not good. And I don't really care to share it with others. If I'm being honest, but it's my, I bought a ukulele.
Oh, nice. I've always wanted a ukulele.
Yeah. It makes me so happy. It like, I just bought it for like, to make my soul happy. Like, and it's funny because like, I'll go, I love, cause it's like, I have like a tiny little carrying case, like backpack. So I can just like take it up a hike or something. Yeah. And I'll get up to the top of the mountain, or I'll like go by the beach at sunset and I'll just start like jamming out. It's not any good. Then people
sit down in the trees,
like,
make the birds angry.
Yeah. And like, but people think they're going to walk by and get like serenaded. And I'm just kind of like, you really need to keep walking because this isn't good. This is for me.
I do the same thing with the tambourine, and people are less enthusiastic about it.
Yeah. I have 2 acoustic guitars, and I know about 6 chords. And, you know, I picked it up, honestly. Yes, exactly. Because, you know, I'm sure you learned with modern music and stuff, you know, most songs use the same 4 to 6 chords throughout the entire music industry. You know, 1-4-5-1 is a, you know, 4 chords that you hear it everywhere. Absolutely everywhere.
Seemed to work okay for the Beatles.
Yeah. So
that's the thing. I feel like you don't have to be like some genius creating this like masterpiece of combination of all this stuff. Like, nah, like speak to people's souls. Like that's it. Like I almost think of it as like I'm gonna bring this into like you guys know like a sound bath, like where they use like the bowls and they like
yeah.
And like when you go choose one, they're like, you know, which one speaks to certain chakras and different things. Like, that's how I think of it. Like, that is such a simple feel. Like when you do that, like when you actually try one of those out, and you're like, oh, damn, actually, I feel this, you know, like you can talk about it. You're like, oh, that's so weird. You're like, that's so weird. But no, it actually resonates with certain parts of your body and stuff. And that's how I think of it with music. It's just like, there's like certain sounds that just automatically resonate to certain parts of who you are. And like, you don't have to be a genius. You just have to like understand, I think, how the human conscious kind of works and the human feelings and all that stuff. But anyways, I could get really deep about it, but like, that's how I see it. Like, not that hard.
I know, I'm right along with you. Like, I love, you know, when you listen to a brand new song and your hair stands up and you get the goosebumps and you're just like, holy cow, that hit me and I had no idea it was coming. And I love that.
I resonate with Britney Spears, and I don't know why. It's just is a fact of life at this point.
Hey, I don't know if you're joking or not, but I was a huge Britney fan as a girl. Like when I was little, like
yeah, well, that was like we were.
Well, yeah, we were
age
right at that age,
to
you know.
be, like,
Hit me,
caught up.
baby, one more time.
But the I worked at a Payless.
I hope everybody
and they
enjoyed
had,
that. You're not
like,
getting that again.
5 Britney Spears songs they played over and over again, and it just like sunk in, and I'm like, okay, all right,
okay, so
makes sense.
I love that you brought that up. So I called up my friend because I haven't heard Britney Spears made a song called Lucky. I don't know if y'all remember this.
She's so lucky. She's a star.
But she cries in her lonely. Right, whatever. Anyway, so I'm like listening. I haven't heard this in years since I was like a kid. And it comes on my Spotify. Like, I think it was like 2 weeks ago or something.
Throwback Thursday just comes out of nowhere.
I just like felt Britney in that moment. And I was like, holy shit. I was like,
well, especially with everything that's going on right now too,
right?
Like it honestly is almost like a cry for help. And
it was.
When you register that, when you actually listen to that, it really does.
It just like hit. And it's funny because the first time I heard it, it just seemed like a simple song. It wasn't one of my favorite songs of hers. I thought there was better ones out there. Like I remember I used to like sometimes I run, sometimes. Anyways, I sang these in teen cabarets, guys. Like you have no idea. There's some Britney videos of me out there. But and like I just remember hearing this song and I was like, holy shit, okay. You know, like so, and sometimes music speaks to you in different times in your life too. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you can't really understand it or it doesn't get to you. And then you might hear it later on and then go, oh shit. Okay. So, I love how deep we just got about Britney Spears.
You know, it needed to happen.
It did.
So speaking of Britney Spears, what's your favorite superpower?
My favorite superpower. Okay.
No, wait, is it if you could choose a superpower for yourself?
Yeah. Come on, get the questions right. We have a list. It's right here.
I honestly I get asked this and I cannot give you a straight answer. Like,
okay, well, if you had to pick one right now in this moment, and it could be anything because, you know, My Hero Academia has introduced quirks and it could literally be anything. Right now, what would it be?
I don't want to get
avoid this question.
I don't want to get deep, but if I can just answer it and then not be asked about it because I don't want to go down this rabbit hole, I would love to have the ability to unify people.
All right. So
that's what I would love to be able to do.
I like that. So next question.
Exactly. I don't want to go into it.
We said it at the same time too. Yeah. You unified me and Tired Dad.
That's right. Your superpower is working. So when you first got into the industry, who was the first person you met that you geeked out about, that you were like, oh my God, I can't believe I get to meet you?
Debbie Derryberry.
Oh, that's such a good answer. I like that.
Classic.
Yeah.
She's fantastic.
She is.
That was fun. And you know, it's kind of weird because then I have worked both production side and acting side. So I was working on the production side of things. And I had met a lot of big actors at this point already, but for some reason, Debbie Derryberry was the one that got me really excited. So that was, I would say, the first one. And then later on was Linda Hamilton. So that was next. But yeah.
Nice. I like that.
You know, we're in the similar age group. Did you grow up with like anime being heavy in your like watch rotation or anything like that? What were you kind of watching on TV back in the day?
Anime was not one thing that we actually had. So I come from I'm first generation. My mom's from Colombia, my dad's from Spain. And so it's funny because no one ever thinks, they have no idea. Like my first language was Spanish. No one knows. So I kind of like didn't grow up in a family where they're like, my parents were like, watch all these like classic films. Like the only classic films that my parents were like, you need to watch this was because my dad's a martial artist, and he was like, every Jackie Chan film, like we need to see every single one.
All right,
like,
here we go. Now we can talk about this. Okay, what's your favorite? Because mine is Rumble in the Bronx.
Oh my God, Rumble in the Bronx is so good.
I mean,
that's the one where he does the ladder thing, right? Where he uses the ladder to do. I still remember like the ladder. Like he had like a whole thing with the ladder. That was really good. Drunken Master. It was another really good one.
That's one of my favorites.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I like the one. I think it was Mr. Nice Guy, maybe, where he had a broken leg and a cast on, but he was still doing stunts, and he had to ride on this hover. I don't even know what they were attempting to do, but it was a hover vehicle that was going across this golf course. I love Jackie Chan. I'm sorry.
He's so
fantastic.
Good.
Police Story and all those.
And
fantastic.
Him doing his own stunts like every time against, of course, the director and producers. Like, no, don't do this.
And he's like, look, I can choose what I want to do with my body. Okay. Although probably in the contract it said if he gets hurt that they're going to be like royally sued. But yeah, no, so that's all the stuff that I kind of grew up. I mean, besides like, if we're just talking just animation in general, then it was like the Batman series. Like I was obsessed with that.
Batman animated series. So good.
Batman series is so damn good. And it still holds up so well.
It
too. Like
does.
I tried watching it when it was on Netflix, and it was like, I was marathoning that. Obviously The Simpsons, I grew up on that.
Classic.
Seinfeld. Huge Seinfeld fan as a child.
Right. As you should be.
Watching, what was it, Seinfeld and Friends and stuff as like a 10-year-old.
Yeah. Oh gosh. See, I didn't get into Friends because Friends felt too incestuous to me. As a child, I was like, this feels like too much.
I didn't watch a whole lot of Friends, and it wasn't until later, towards the end of Seinfeld, where I started watching that. But I feel like I used to like, cause like the Boy Meets Worlds and stuff like that.
Oh yes.
Like I used to love, you had the TGI Friday lineups and all that, the step by step, and I loved sitcoms. And I feel like now I can't stand watching sitcoms nowadays. I can still
like
watch
the newer stuff.
Ones, but
Did you guys watch How I Met Your Mother?
Yeah, I watched the start. I never finished. I think we started.
I mean, to be fair, do you really need to finish? I didn't really care for the ending that much.
I assume they met their mother. I'm gonna take that as I'm gonna make that assumption.
You need to go back and watch the show.
But,
what's another one? What about Chuck? Did y'all watch Chuck?
Chuck, I remember the title.
Chuck was like, he would like download like the ability. Okay, so this is the type of superpower. Like if you ask me, like in general, I would like the ability to like download information or like learn how to do absolutely anything and everything. And so Chuck was kind of like that. And so he would download all this information and then he would like go and like be able to like be a martial artist or know how to do absolutely, and you're speaking another language.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah. And it was funny. It was really funny too. So, it was well worth it. Good show.
I'll have to add that one to the rotation. It's behind like 18 other shows, so I may not ever get to it. But
I don't even remember what the original question was, but
it was about anime and more along those lines.
Watching,
yeah, what I was watching. So, I mean, if we're gonna talk just anime, then it's The Last Airbender.
I love The Last Airbender. I'm excited to see what they do with Netflix.
Yeah, they're continuing the series and the world and everything. That's really, I mean, it's such a complex show for just like a kid's show. It is not just a kid's show.
Nope. I watched it again I guess last year, whenever it was out. And I straight up cried. I was like, this shit is deep and it's intense. Like, it's so good.
So we've talked about a lot of different, shows and worlds and, all this different stuff. So if you had to get teleported into a different universe, where would you want to go?
Again, there's a right and there's a wrong answer. I'll let you pick first though.
into a
You're always so
universe?
mean. Yeah, like
I am
you know,
not
if
Are
you
we
were,
talking like Marvel universe, Star Wars universe?
it could be
Yes,
any.
yes,
So it could
exactly.
be cartoons, it could be TV shows, movies, comic
You can
books, regular
fucking
books.
Doctor Who, Star Trek, Land of the
Yeah.
My
Lost,
Hero
whatever.
Academia. Can I point?
Yeah. I could be into any universe.
Obviously not Resident Evil because zombies are everywhere.
I mean, but I'd know what the hell to do, and I'm clearly already like.
Well, yeah, she does
know.
have the professional experience with that. So
I mean, come on. I mean, it's funny because there's like things that I enjoy doing, but then I'm like, would I want to be in that universe? It seems dangerous. Like,
Exactly.
so it's kind of hard to really answer that. Like, if I was just invincible, like I could be in a game and I could just like come back at any moment and I'm not really getting destroyed. Like it'd be really, I love Tomb Raider. So I would love to be in some sort of like that stuff. And obviously with all the outdoorsy stuff I love.
like Tomb Raider, Nathan Drake, like, Indiana Jones.
Yeah. Like that would be really fun for me. As long as
you don't die the second you step
I'm not getting mauled by the wolves and the bears and there's just not like guys trying to kill me from everywhere. Like if I could just be like really sneaky ninja, like through the wilderness and like go explore things and stuff and maybe like not destroy all of the ruins, like I'm good with it.
But then you take a drink from the stream of water and then you get dysentery, which, they don't tell you that in the game.
They don't. I learned a lot about that.
She's got the survival books. Weren't you listening earlier? She's ready.
Yeah, I know like where to get the water from. You guys know where to collect water from, right? This is going to be like you guys might know already. Like if there's a lake, where do you collect the water from?
From
Upstream.
my hands, and then you put it in your mouth.
Yeah, from anything that's like above, whatever enters into the lake, never below the lake. Yeah, all from upstream.
Because everything else flows down and collects.
All the flavors downstream, though. That's where the flavor is.
I think you just go straight from the
Town.
lake. I mean, if you want flavor, the stew is there.
Yeah, you just start boiling the lake, and you've got yourself a stew, baby.
Yeah, but no, it's all from upstream and ideally glacier water. So like if I were in Rise of the Tomb Raider, then that water would be fine because it's all glacier water and that's probably actually cleaner than most other situations. Than all the tap water that we get in bottles and pay for. So it'd probably be better than that.
You know how to distill it and what berries to eat and not eat. And
I mean, yes and no, but I also watched Born to Be Wild or Into the Wild? That's what it was.
The Alaskan
remember
one?
that movie?
The Alaskan one?
Yes, it was so good. So good. And do we remember what we learned about berries? Even when you think you know them, you don't.
I remember.
Have a second opinion of someone who knows.
I remember when somebody tells you not to go somewhere, don't go there. When they tell you it's too extreme for you because you have literally no experience in the wilderness, which this guy didn't. And they like don't go there, and then also not tell people you're going there and bring no maps. I listened to the true story about it, and he wasn't really he went on hikes and stuff, but he wasn't a survivalist. He wasn't an outdoorsman. He went with no maps.
It's like me walking the trail down by the creek and by my house and being like, all right, time to take on Mount Everest. Let's go.
I have friends like that, though. I know people like that, and not to say that I don't usually do a lot of dangerous shit. It's true.
Sure. But calculated risks, though.
Yeah, but I also it's calculated risk. I also think about who I go with, because if that person is more educated than me in that, then I'm more comfortable doing that. And then, but if I'm going with friends and I'm supposed to be the super educated one in this and experience, and then my friend has no clue what they're doing, I'm not going to put them at risk because we're all going to get hurt, So there's a level of you
don't have to be the fastest person in the group. You just can't be the slowest person in the group.
I mean,
I'm bringing you along, Joe, because I just need to be faster than you.
Just faster than you. If that mountain lion comes into play, no, that's terrible. No, you want to, just want good teammates and stuff. So yeah, so definitely you need to know how to do certain things. Anything that's survival related, like I'm hardcore on. And some people are like, Steph, why do you want to know all this stuff? I'm like, because you never fucking know. And knowing me, I'll put myself in some sort of situation. Right. So yeah.
See, I have read the Zombie Survival Guide front to back, and it legitimately has like good survival tips in the book, which I was kind of surprised on. I was expecting it to just be some silly parody, but it's actually pretty decent.
Actually pretty legit. Yeah.
And I just bought last year for my wife's birthday, she had like some survival book on her Amazon wish list that I picked her up. So when my son,
she's into this stuff too.
Oh yeah, she's the one who drags me out onto the hikes. Yeah, I'd rather.
This is what I look forward to one day. A husband that I'm like, let's go, honey. You're coming. No, you're not sitting on that couch. Like, come on.
But I can play games and adventure.
No.
No. I enjoy getting out. I do really enjoy that element of it. But
don't you want to put that stuff into fruition? All the stuff that you're learning, like
that's right. That's right. I can practice everything that I just learned in Tomb Raider. It's perfect. Let's just find an ancient civilization and some ruins, and I can show you how much I've learned.
I mean, there's not many of those left, but
well.
So anyway, so Pokemon was the right answer.
Oh, was that supposed to be the right answer? I'm
right
sorry.
Answer. You want to go to the Pokemon world because you still get your outdoorsy, your camping. But
I mean, you literally get kicked out of the house at 10 years old. Yeah. So
anybody can be a Pokemon trainer.
But you know what I don't like is that. And look, I like the concept of Pokemon. Don't hate me, but
you're about to anger an entire fandom.
I know, I'm about to. I know I am, and I don't. and I say this with love, and I just say this from an objective viewpoint. You're kind of enslaving a bunch of animals, and then using them to fight against one another.
Well, I mean, it depends on who you are, though.
In that cramped.
Look at that!
Look. All right. Well, actually,
Look, and I'm just talking about it if it was like real life. But if it's like, if we're just talking within the world and we understand like that universe and all that stuff, I have nothing against Pokemon. I love Pokemon. My favorite one is Squirtle. Squirtle is like, I'm diehard Squirtle fan.
Yes.
So yeah.
That was my first Pokemon Blue. I got Blue, so I had to go with Squirtle. I mean, that's the rules, right?
Or like, what was it? Jigglypuff. I was like, Jigglypuff. I forgot it was like Jigglypuff. There we go. Yeah.
Okay, now this is the Jigglypuff song podcast. Oh man.
So no hating on it. I had to just get like really objective for like a hot second, and just play devil's advocate
that's
for a
even
minute.
true in the world of Pokemon itself. You know, you do have people who
both got
really
the Jigglypuff song wrong. By the way,
Jigglypuff.
You gotta go higher. You gotta go higher.
Yeah, well, yeah.
No, but what's the?
Have you heard my voice?
Hit the
I can
notes.
all right. I can get up high, but what is the?
It's a Jigglypuff, Jigglypuff. Yeah, I'm on.
Jigglypuff. I didn't get it right, but is that how high, or is it even higher?
No, that's
that's close.
Now we need you to sing a Beyonce song in the voice of Jigglypuff.
God.
Oh,
we're starting a cover band. We're starting a Pokemon cover band.
So okay, so you got the Jigglypuff voice down, but if you were to be stuck in a voice that wasn't your own, what voice would you want to be stuck in?
Shit. I mean, my voice though makes all kinds of has a decent range. So,
but I mean, if you had to get stuck in one of those, whether it's a character,
like in something that I've like done.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. And
you had to talk like that, the cadences and everything for the rest of your life.
These are actually all psychology questions we're asking you right now.
We're
just getting a deeper look into the psyche of Stephanie.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about this right now. So no, there's a so when I don't want to do something, one of my friends back growing up in Florida, he loved to go out dancing. And I hate clubs. Like I hate them. And, but I love dancing. And
I feel you there.
Yeah. And so I was like, well, if I have to be here, I'm going to have a whole nother persona. That's it. And so I created this persona.
Nice.
She's not super original in her name. She's French and her name is Amélie. And she is fantastic. And honestly, ever since I started, and I've only brought her out like a handful of times in life. I brought her out once in Vegas and I go full character. Like, I don't give a shit. Like everyone believes that I am French from, Lyon and like all this other stuff, but she is great because she speaks her mind, doesn't give two shits, which is kind of like how I am, but I can like get away with it because I'm French, I'm not
now with this personality, have you met somebody in French and they start to talk to you?
Thank God. Thank God. I care. I'm also very aware. Like I listen and I'm like, oh, that person could be French. We're going to not talk now. We're going to not a chance. I would screw it up and it would be terrible, but that would actually be really fun because she's got a whole like just personality that she's very freeing and like gets away with everything.
Well, you got to give us the voice. You got to give us Amélie.
Oh shit. Okay.
On the spot.
So for those people who don't know who I am, her name is Amélie, and she is from the south of France in Lyon, and she loves it there. Most of her friends are American. She knows them from university. They go there for what do you call when people go to your the study abroad? And so they all go there. And then I make all these friends here in the United States, and I stay there with them in their houses, and they're very, very nice. So like that's like her normal, like nice, like whatever. But then she can get like,
I like it.
Yeah, no, she's interesting. Maybe just because I've had a lot of fun.
See,
because there's lots of other voices that I would like love, but they're harder to keep up with.
So I guess I'm gonna ask you a question that we haven't asked anybody yet because I just thought of it while we were on our little break over the month. But so, what is the worst job you've ever had, just in general?
Not necessarily like worst voice acting job or acting in general. Like just what's the worst job?
Worst job ever.
Flipping burgers or barista or.
I mean, I've been a barista. That's kind of like my origin story, actually. But
damn, you nailed it, huh?
Yeah. But would I say that was my worst job? No, because something came from it. I think it maybe my first job. I don't know. My first job. I was 14. I worked at the gym, and they made me like flip that sign. You know what I mean? Like come to the gym thing. Where you're outside.
Oh,
and like
man,
I had to do that.
Spin it and...
Yeah, like I had to do that. And that was like before it was like cool,
right.
I guess. Before everybody started doing it. So like I had to do that with a friend, and then we also had to put like flyers on people's cars. So it was like all this stuff that's like obnoxious shit that people hate, And then I remember I had to like wipe down all the machines, and then I would have to go to the mall and check people's body fat percentages, and that's not even the parts that I hated. For a 14-year-old, you know the part that I hated?
Oh, well, can we just
I'll tell you the part that I hated.
The body fat thing people don't do anymore because it's not healthy.
Yeah, well, we've learned. Hopefully, we've learned a lot. They also, the part that I actually hated was that. So they gave me a T-shirt to wear, and I wanted to wear like pants or something. Like, no, you have to wear short shorts with this. I was 14. Why did I have to wear a small, tiny shirt and some short shorts to go check people's body, fat index, whatever, like at the mall. That's the part that I hated. Because then you had to wear that while you're trying to clean up. And then you got like creepy old dudes that are like checking out 14-year-old girls. That's the part that I hated about that job. I didn't even hate so much. Actually, I did hate flipping that sign.
Did you ever get good at it? Did you ever get any sort of skill with the sign?
Look, I was 14. I was so excited to have a job. Like some kids like don't want to work. Right. I was like, I want to work. I want to make money, like all this stuff. So I was super stoked about that part, but that's the part that I didn't like.
See nowadays with flipping the signs, it's become so mainstream. You have to have a bachelor's in performance in order to flip it right, man. Yeah, I've seen some of those guys. It's crazy.
No, I just had to go.
Well, you are in luck. I have a Two Dads and a Podcast sign here for you.
Oh gosh, no. I don't ever want to see it. I haven't thought of that since I was 14. So yeah.
Oh, man.
We're digging up those painful memories.
I'm good. Yeah, it's so funny. All the other jobs I've ever done, even if they weren't like the best, like there was still something rewarding about them. So yeah.
Well, I feel you there because I mean I've flipped burgers at Sonic Burger, but I worked with all my friends, so we had a blast. I worked at Payless, but again, worked with my friends and had a blast. Worked at Walmart, and that was always interesting. But working there was a lot of fun.
I could imagine.
I think
there's an entire website dedicated to the people of Walmart. So
yes. I had one day where I went in hungover as shit, and they were doing an Easter celebration, and in the lawn and garden department, and I was working register, and they were giving away free hot dogs. So I was eating free hot dogs, and to celebrate, they had a giant cookie and a cowboy for Easter. Because that's what people do on Easter.
I'm all for it.
And then kids started shoving cardboard under car tires in the parking lot and lighting them on fire. And this car went up in flames. It was a lot of fun. You just got to work there. You got to,
unless you were the owner of the car.
Yeah, I was going to say,
probably bad for them. They weren't having a great day, but I was having an awesome day.
Purposely did that. Maybe they volunteered their car for this. I'm like, this is what we're going to do today. We're going to burn this car. I like car. That. It's got bad memories. Like I don't want Easter. It.
I like that. I like that positive twist. I like that positive attitude about that.
Yeah, maybe they were like, it's for Easter. It's going to resurrect. It'll come back. Don't worry. This is the test, like.
In 3 days, a car will appear.
Yeah, it will appear again. Don't worry. So.
And from then on out, we sacrificed a car every Good Friday.
Yeah. Look, I am not like, I don't know, maybe I'm strange. Like my first, so I've only had 2 cars in my life, and I'm very loyal with my cars. And I got a Jeep Wrangler, and
nice.
and like it was 1995 Jeep Wrangler. It was already older. I loved it. It was stick shift, like it was canvas top, zippy windows. My mom thought I was nuts.
Got the real Jeep Wrangler. You got the good.
Yeah, I went full on. I didn't even know how to drive stick at that time, and I was like, I don't care. I'm learning. I did flip it once.
Oh, nice.
Totally.
Hey, it still works. Though. You just don't worry. It back over.
Just put it back over. You're fine. People don't understand that. But so anyway, so I fought, to keep this car. Anyways, I kept this car all the way until 2019. I think it was.
Wow.
And
nice.
And so I kept the car all the way until 2019, still loved it, but I wasn't able to get, like, I've done lots of like work on it, but I couldn't give it the love that it needed. And so I was like, all right, so if I sell this car, there's 2 ways that I'm going to be able to part ways with my car. One way is I'm going to sell it to somebody that's going to give it a whole new life and redo it and do all this stuff. Right.
And you're going to work in like visitation rights somehow into the,
you know what? I kind of do. Anyways, but and then the second way is I'm going to donate it to there's this big stunt. It's called like Action Factory. And I'm going to do this whole thing where like, I'm going to drive the car, but then a stunt actor is going to get into it. They're going to flip it. We're going to blow it up and it's going to live in existence forever in film. So that was the two ways that it was going to go down. I did end up going with the first one. And this actually, funny enough, this French gentleman was obsessed with the card, loved it, you know, and sent me pictures like as he was like working on it and stuff.
Did you tell him you were also French?
No, I didn't want to let him know on like all that because I probably wouldn't have made the sale then, you know. But anyway, so it's just kind of funny because I kind of was okay with like blowing up my car if it like went out like that in glory.
In a blaze of glory, yeah.
And it had to flip. If it didn't flip and blow up, I was not cool with it.
You know what? That's like how I would want to. That's how I would want to go out too. So you made.
That's the way. The only way. Yeah. Oh God.
Oh man. Oh.
But y'all weren't expecting this. You wanted to learn about Stephanie? Well, I am sorry.
Going to finish this up, and she's going to be like, none of that was true.
That was all bullshit.
Scene.
Yeah.
Oh man. So
shit.
Do you do you get a chance with all the outdoorsy stuff that you do to play any video games or play any of the stuff that you voiced in?
Yeah, I do. So I stream every Thursday. So every Thursday night, I stream.
Can you shout it out for the people?
Yeah. What's your Twitch handle?
Yeah, it's at Because I Claire. So Because I Claire, for those of you guys are obviously played Resident Evil 2, you know, like the whole reason. Yeah. The whole reason that, you know, when Claire has that moment with Sherry and Sherry says, why are you doing this? You know, and Claire just says, because I care. That's it. And so that's kind of like, it's kind of a play on that. So it's Because I Claire. But yeah, and that's, I mean, not to sound cheesy, but like my whole channel is super wholesome. Like, yes, I cuss and all that stuff, but it's like a feel good place. Like it is about welcoming everybody. And it's like that, like whenever because I do crazy shit on the weekends. So then like everyone will be like, what did you do this weekend? And I'll tell them, they're like, story time with Stephanie, you know?
Yeah, there you go.
You know? So, and everything, you know, everything with that is like, just, you know, it sounds cheesy, but because I care, like, I love that whole line of like, it doesn't have to be some really elaborate, like,
you know,
crazy.
It doesn't have to be about me. It doesn't have to. Yeah, I like that.
It just, you just do it just because. That's it. You know, and we say in Spanish, porque te nace, right? Porque te nace means because it just naturally, your soul just wants to do that. You know, you just want to, you know? And so I love that. So anyways, that's why it's because I Claire.
Gotcha. Well, what are you playing currently?
You know what? Funny enough, I'm playing Resident Evil 2 because I hadn't played it in a while and it's spooky season, you know? And also my birthday. So they arrive at Raccoon City on September 29th and then they leave on the 30th. And my birthday is September 30th, which is super weird.
There you go.
But,
Nice.
yeah. So I started playing it for a multitude of reasons. But that's what I'm playing now. Before that, I was playing Crash Bandicoot Warped because why not?
Yeah, because it's Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah. Before that, I was playing like Rise of the Tomb Raider. Before that was Alien Isolation. Like, so I play, it's a variety of games. So
nice.
So is Resident Evil 2 your favorite Resident Evil, or do you have one that you like more?
No, I really do. It actually is. It is actually one of my. It's the one that I got introduced to.
That's fair.
And it is actually my favorite. So, nice. You know, that's why I was like, God, I hope it's good. Like we did our best. So Nick and I treated it like our babies because we just knew like how much it meant to us. So like the whole team, we were like, with like kid gloves, we were just like this thing and this thing and this thing. Like we were all very careful with it and wanted to make sure it was good. So yeah.
See, I think my favorite is 4, but that's probably just because of nostalgia. You know, I've played it about 30 times through and I don't think that's exaggerating.
Yeah. No, I just started 7 for the first time.
7's scary.
I never had it.
That's what I heard, and I want to play it in VR, and I keep telling myself I'm going to, and I still haven't, and it's been like 2 years.
Do you have a VR set?
Yeah, I have the PlayStation VR.
Oh, then what the hell are you waiting for?
I know, but it's scary.
Do you enjoy the October spooky time personally? Because I mean, we love it, obviously.
Yes.
Yeah, I do. It's funny because I'm not big into like gruesome stuff. Like I don't like gore,
Yeah.
but I like jump scares. I kind of like fall in general. Because I mean my favorite holiday is actually Thanksgiving, but for Halloween, we like my friends and I we do like all the festivities. So we went around like finding all the different houses that open up. Like, so here in LA, they'll open up like mazes, or they'll, just
I love
decorate really
the
nice.
maze.
Yeah. Like, so those are super fun. We also go to the different pumpkin patches out here. We'll go to the haunted hay rides. Like I said, I do every year, I do a Halloween themed dinner here. This year we're doing Dia de los Muertos. So it's just like last year we did like 20s themed like witches and stuff. The one before it was like goddesses. I don't know. I do all kinds of stuff, but yeah, Halloween, I like all of it. I just don't like very gory. Gory is not my thing. But scare the shit out of me. Yes. Like, have you guys, I mean, have you y'all have ever had an opportunity to do that? But when I was, there was a time when I worked with children at the YMCA. And I remember I was a school age programs director. So I was like in charge of like 300 plus kids and like doing all the big events and all the stuff.
Oh, nice.
Oh, wow.
And for one of them, I was invited back. I didn't work there anymore. And I was invited back for a Halloween and to do like through like the maze. And so they're like, yeah, can you like, would you want to like be a part of it and like scare people? I was like, absolutely.
Yes.
So like, oh my gosh, it's like oddly gratifying. Like I like dressed up as a doll, and I just sat on the floor and just like this the whole time and didn't move. I didn't move at all. And so multiple people could come through and they wouldn't have even noticed.
Right.
And then all of a sudden it happens. I had so many grown adults scream bloody murder.
Yes.
And I may or may not have liked it.
If you didn't, I would be disappointed.
But then then when I was done and like I would go out there and like it was funny because I remember I like walked out there and I saw some people like I knew, like some of the parents that like I recognized, and they walked up to me and they couldn't tell quite that it was me at first because they hadn't seen me in a while. And they're like, oh my God, you scared the crap out of me. And then I would start talking like, wait a minute, Stephanie. And I'm like, yes, I'm so sorry.
You asked for it. You wanted this.
You chose to come through this maze. You said you wanted to get scared. They're like, well, we thought it was a kid's thing. And I was like, well, that's why I purposely chose the adults more than the children.
We had that house growing up. They had the dad would always be in like the scarecrow thing, and he'd just sit there, and you knew it was coming. The candy would be right in front of him. You knew it was coming every single fucking time. You knew it was a person.
He still got you.
You saw the people before him, but he still got everybody, and you couldn't not because they gave out the full-size candy bars. You had to go to this house. You couldn't avoid it. They were that house in the neighborhood, and they did everything they could to scare the shit out of everybody when they went up there.
You had to earn that candy bar.
You earned it.
That's right.
Yeah, you earned that full-size candy bar.
Yeah. Yeah, my brother stole it from me.
Damn him. He should have earned it. Oh gosh, that's awesome though.
Well, so Thanksgiving is your favorite holiday. What's one of your favorite traditions?
So I come from so food is a big deal. My dad's a chef, and so
what the fuck? Your dad's a chef and a ninja?
Straight up.
What?
Yeah.
Man, I have a lot to aspire to.
He is like I am one of those people that I know I feel very blessed. Like I have like the most awesome parents ever. Like, yes. So my father, yes, he is a chef and a ninja. But yeah, so for me, food is a really big deal. So I really love cooking. Like if I don't cook on Thanksgiving, like if I get invited to somebody else's home and they say, don't bring something, it does not feel like Thanksgiving. And I usually don't want to go. Like, I'm like, thank you for the invitation, but like, I want to slave away in the kitchen and make this.
Well,
like,
I will send you an invite and you bring as much food as you want to. It is very obvious that I enjoy food.
Oh man, no, seriously, but that's like, I love the making of food, but the real reason I love Thanksgiving, and I think what I think is so great about Thanksgiving, and I enjoy all the holidays. I tend to be very traditionalist in those things because I think it helps you to enjoy the year, you know, and all that. So, but I think what I love about Thanksgiving is that it is the most, how do I put this? It feels like the purest intention as far as like, not like how it all started. We don't have to go into the history, but like, but if we're just talking about modern day, it feels like the purest form of a holiday because it's really just about food and gathering with your loved ones. And that's it. It's not about presents. It's not about, you know, how much you're giving out candy or what you're, you know, you don't have to, it's not the stress of like, got to find that perfect, you know, outfit to dress up for Halloween. It's not, and all that stuff is super exciting.
You can eat.
Yeah. And I love all that stuff. But like, yeah, for me, Thanksgiving is just like, we all cooked. I also enjoy cooking with people. Like that's like a very, it's like a very intimate thing that you do. Like, you're just like, we are truly friends because we have cooked together. You know what I mean? Like, that's how I see it, you know? And then when you eat my food, this was we've done this, you know?
Yeah.
And so I really love that. I think I just love the like simplicity of like what it is. Like, it's just very.
So when you get your invitation, what are you bringing to dinner?
What's one dish you can't live without at Thanksgiving and one dessert you can't live without at Thanksgiving?
Well, the turkey's got to be good. So, you know, like it's gotta be good.
I've known ham people and I don't understand them personally from an emotional level, but
look, if you're having ham, at least still have the turkey. You know, we've done both before. That's fine.
You have to
ham
both
on the side.
Yeah.
That's fine. But don't forget the turkey.
Don't forget the turkey. Like if the turkey's not there, it just feels weird. But I would say, but the one that I love to make, I guess it's a sweet potato casserole.
Classic.
But I make it like with like, you know, some bacon fat, fresh herbs, you know, then I've got like,
so it's more savory.
Yeah, marshmallows, and then and I like pecans and walnuts. I like chop up on top, and then I like torch the top of it. You know, there's just something very. I love that dish because I think it's got like texture, but it's also creamy, but it's sweet and savory, and like I love pulling out the torch and like.
Oh yeah, I mean. If that's not your favorite part, you literally get the light shit on fire. Like, let's.
You also know I am a pyro, like a very safe pyro who doesn't destroy people's things, but like loves fireworks and fire.
Oh, so, see, like, we're not. Yeah. We fill, you know, soda cans with gasoline and kick it across friends' backyards.
We may have lit me on fire a few times.
Yeah.
I mean, I am not condoning any of this.
I may have ripped my shirt off at least once to put him out.
Stop, drop, and roll, and in your case, strip too. So, yeah.
There was a jug of water right next to him. He just wanted an excuse to take his shirt off.
Oh, guys, safety first. Though. Safety first.
So what about that kind of wraps up dessert and everything all in one.
Kind of, but I mean, it does, but it's savory. Yeah, it's a little bit of a mixture of both, and that's my go-to dish because I know nobody else makes it. And so if I don't have it, it's not going to happen. And I love when people are like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to like it. And then like
they take a bite and it's just like, oh my God, give me more. Right. See, I've had bad sweet potato casserole too, and it turns people off. You know, you have something bad and it's just like, I never want that again.
No, I'm not that person. That's why when people are like, people that say I hate vegetables, I'm like, you have not had my vegetables.
What vegetables are you eating? And who is cooking? Like, it's not me.
So, cranberry sauce, homemade or out of a can?
Homemade. Well, actually, it depends who's making it.
Okay.
And I like the sauce more than I do the jelly.
Okay. See, my wife actually makes a homemade cranberry sauce each year. You know, she gets the fresh cranberries and orange juice and the sugar and melts it all down and a couple little spices in there to enhance. And so, like, when she started doing that, she like loves cranberry sauce. She doesn't like the canned stuff. I can still look. You open it up, you give me a slice down where it's in the perfect shape of the can.
Simple. It's simple. It is unhealthy.
It's classic.
It comes from a can. I like things that come out of cans.
Was it Ocean Spray usually makes it?
You're a survivalist. You should be getting used to this can stuff.
Oh, look, I have two sides. I either have MRE can, like I'm eating whatever the hell's in the wilderness, or it better be 5-star. Like, there is no in between, okay?
Well, it is almost 6 o'clock here. We have tied up an hour and a half of your time, so let's keep going.
It's been great talking to you, honestly. I hope you had a good time. We try to be a little more relaxed here.
Yeah,
I did. I'm glad. You know, when you were like, yeah, so we're not going to ask you everything that everybody asked, I was like, oh, thank God. Well, thank you guys. It was a pleasure, though.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
You're welcome to be interviewed by me anytime you want. You just let me know. Get in touch.
That's good.
I'll be there to record, so.
Oh, lovely. Okay.
10 minutes late.
He wasn't supposed to talk.
All right, Stephanie.
Yeah. Awesome, guys. Have a good one.
You
Bye.
too. Bye. And scene.
Yeah, that was.
I missed my timing there for the swap, but that's okay. That's okay. That can be edited. Oh man, she was so much fun to talk to. It was
always fun. I know we say it every week.
Every single time.
She brought us together as an interview.
She unified us.
We were unified, and man,
it got a little awkward when it was bedtime, though. But
I told her she could get off the Zoom at any time.
Like you can leave anytime. You don't have to. You don't have to come. Yeah. But it was a lot of fun. She was super chill, super cool. You could tell that she enjoyed being asked questions she hadn't been asked before. My favorite part of the way we do our interviews is getting that reaction where we ask a question. They're like, oh, I haven't thought about that. Like, I love that. Love it. Well,
speaking of superpowers.
Yeah. Speaking of
what's
superpowers.
Your favorite type of music?
Man. Well, hey, if you have any comments or anything about the interview, you want to talk to us a little bit about what was going on or ask us some questions, hit us up on Facebook, Twitter, 2dap2020, Instagram. You can email us at 2dap2020@gmail.com. Comment on the YouTube video, of course. You can also help support us on Patreon.
Don't forget to check out our new YouTube shorts. I'm pitching in. I'm doing our new series, Packing Cracks, and it is going to be crazy. No. That is that you go to the OnlyFans for the Packing Cracks. We're doing Cracking Packs.
Correct.
Shorts. That's different. We're opening packs of Pokemans and Magic the Gathering.
And eventually maybe some Yu-Gi-Oh! It'll be thrown in there. So
yeah,
check that out on our YouTube. You can also, in the description of the video, you can hit up our Discord and keep up with all the stuff going on. New videos, new Twitter posts, and you can chat directly with Felix and I if he ever gets online. Mostly me.
Yeah, I do the emails.
Yeah. So, but guys, as always,
next time on Two Dads and a Podcast.
Next week when we do our live stream, not 100% sure on the top 5 yet, but we are going to deep dive into the world of Cowboy Bebop a little bit as we can.
A little bit more. We're gonna discuss, we went over our favorite episodes. What we're going to talk about next week is we're going to talk about kind of what we expect and what we would really like to see from the anime. And then from the anime
nice
adaptation,
little
from live action,
wrapped up sort of deep dive into what we expect. And then maybe, I don't know if Netflix is doing an episode a week like they do on some things, or if they're releasing it all at once, but we will start to watch the Cowboy Bebop, and then do maybe a review or our comparisons.
Yep. So we're going to talk about what we expect out of it, what we're hoping to see, and then, by the time that airs, we'll have seen an episode or two, and we can talk about whether they lived up to the expectations or not. So keep an ear out for that. That's going to be a lot of fun. But as always, guys, thanks so much for listening.
Love you too.
Yeah, thanks so much for listening. Thanks so much for listening.
You're going to carry that weight.
Enunciate.
The tip of the T. The tip of the tongue.
Live stream watching it together? We could do that. We could do like a live stream party. We could definitely do that. I don't know when exactly. I don't think it'll be that on Friday.
Tuesday.
Are you working Fridays now? Will you be working
probably
the 19th? Because if you're not working the 19th, we could do it that night and watch episode 1.
But I will be working that Saturday morning. I gotta wake up at like 4 the next morning.
Well, yeah, I know we can't show the actual show, but like you and I could watch it together earlier, like in the day or early evening or something, not super late. Because we do movie nights on Friday night, so I can't do it then. Anyway. So we'll talk about it. I think that would actually be pretty fun. Watch episode 1 together, live stream it, talk about it, do some comparisons there. That'd be pretty legit. What do you think?
It was fun tonight, guys.
It was a lot of fun.
It was longer tonight, and I'm.
Well, I mean, the interview was also an hour.
Yeah.
So that'll do it. But we are right now. I should be going into my my video game portion of the live streams for Wednesdays, and we're eating into that time. So I am going to take a quick break. We're going to stop the stream, and I'll be back probably 10-ish minutes or so after I stretch my legs and go spend a little bit of time with the family for a minute, tell the little dude a good night, and we're playing some more Banished. So if you want to hang out and watch that, refresh the page here in a little bit. So thanks, guys.
Nice.
Thanks for hanging out.
Nice.
Nice.